Yeah, hello. I just finished one video, and the Lord have actually laid something on my heart I want to share with you briefly. And that is what I wish I knew before I got married. You know, a lot of marriages are not working in our generation to the extent that a lot of people think that marriage is not good. But you know, it's not like marriage is not good. The reason why a lot of marriages are not working in our generation, one of the topmost reasons is that a lot of people don't know that it takes a lot of knowledge for marriage to work. You see, no matter how educated you are, no matter how spiritual you are, right? No matter how level-headed you are, if you don't know the know-how, the rules of engagement, the principles that governs the success of marriage, you will not be successful in marriage. It's like if you don't know how to drive a car, no matter how spiritual you are, no matter how educated you are, if you go and sit behind the wheel, you will kill yourself. So one of the reasons why a lot of marriages are not working in our world today is that a lot of people don't know a lot of things about marriage. Marriage is a very, serious thing. I will not say difficult. It's a very serious thing. So you must have adequate information about how to work marriage before you get into it. You see, Dr. Miles Monroe said something. He said that you can't marry because you are in love. A lot, and he said that he said something that love doesn't keep marriage. What he's trying to say is that the fact that you have a feeling for that person, the fact that you have some kind of romantic feelings for an individual, that thing alone is not enough for the marriage to work. You need adequate information, adequate knowledge about how to work marriage before the marriage works. It's like, you have a feeling, you love, piloting. We be a pilot. You wish to be a pilot, right? A lot of people want to be pilots. A lot of people want to pilot a plane. But let me tell you this. It is not your feeling, right? It is not your feeling. And it's not the fact that you love, piloting that will enable you to pilot a plane. You have to go through education. You need to be educated about how to pilot a plane. You need adequate information, adequate knowledge. But there are a lot of people, right? They lack adequate knowledge about how marriage works, and they enter into marriage. And let me tell you something. A lot of people are funny. They think that, right, just that 6 months or 3 months marriage counseling will help their marriage to work. Now you ask yourself a question. You just ask yourself a question. That even the marriage counseling, how many times do you even meet in a week? How many times do you meet in a week? So you see, one of the reasons why a lot of marriages are not working is that a lot of people don't arm themselves with knowledge, adequate knowledge. So if you are not married yet, now let me say this. Let me digress a little bit. A lot of people, right, think that they are ready for marriage because of their chronological age. Or he's 35, he's 40, he's 28. So because of that, he's ready for marriage. But that's not what makes you ready for marriage. The number one thing that makes you ready for marriage is maturity. Maturity in marriage, about the knowledge of marriage, how to work marriage, the ability to take critical decisions, the ability to navigate through logical and critical decisions. A lot of people lack knowledge. And number two, if you want your marriage to work, right? If you want your marriage to work, don't think about what your partner can do for you. Think about what you can do for your partner, right? One man said something powerfully, philosophically. He said, men should not, right? They should not demand submission from their wives if your wife is not your obsession or your passion or your mission, then you don't demand submission from your wife. One of the reasons why a lot of marriages are not working is that majority of the time we are just thinking about ourselves. It takes a lot of sacrifice for marriage to work. You see, you know, when they are teaching us about how to choose a life partner, you know, they tell us, you know, choose a woman of virtue, someone that have a vision, someone that is hardworking, someone with a fear of God, someone who is diligent, someone who is spiritual. So it's like, you know, the decision is centered on your benefit. But you ask yourself a question that who will be our sagacious, who will be our genius, right? Who will be our intelligent, who will be who fear God, you want the right person. Are you also the right person? Do you also have a vision, right? Are you also God fearing? So you see, one of the things you have to understand is that for marriage to work, you don't think about what you will get from your partner. Think about what you can do for your partner. If you see a lady, right, and you say you love that lady, ask yourself, what value can I put or add to the life of that lady? If you see a lady and you claim you love the lady and you don't know the value you can add to the life of that lady, when you marry, that marriage is not going to work. What can you do for that lady? Because majority of the time, right? Young quiet, Jenny, oh, me career expectation, me career, the minion, oh, this is what I'm expecting. But what are you also going to do for the person? So majority of the time, right? Majority of the time for your marriage to work, you have to look at your responsibility. What is your responsibility as a man in the life of a woman? What is your responsibility as a woman in the life of a man? What can I? You see, a lot of, you know, when you come, you know, to Africa here, our tradition, part of the orientation in our tradition is that, you know, towards the women, is that, you know, a man that will take care of her, but you ask yourself a question that, what can I also do for my husband, the man I'm going to marry? What can I do to be a blessing to that man? And let me digress a little bit. If you're a woman and you can't take care of yourself, don't marry. Because we don't marry for a man to take care of us. We marry to take care of ourselves. Because the Bible said that the Lord said that it's not good for a man to be alone. When you study biblical hermeneutics or proper exegesis, what that scripture means that man is not good alone. And he said that I will make him a suitable partner. So marriage is partnership. It's not like you are marrying a man for the man to take care of you, the man to pay the light bill, the water bill, to give what we call in our part of the world chop money, and for the man to buy everything. No. What is your responsibility as a woman? You see, one of the reasons why a lot of women are subjugated, one of the reasons why a lot of women are mishandled and abused by men is that most African women depend on men for survival. If you depend on a man for survival and the man is not mature and the man is crazy, the man is going to abuse you. Let me tell you the gospel truth. The reason why a lot of women in our part of the world cannot get out of abusive marriage is the fact that when they leave, they have nowhere going. Marriage is partnership. You ask yourself a question that Bemanu ame kwa ware no e de na me nso me ye nyina ye kan yetia bom to run the family. If you don't have that mindset, if you don't have that mentality, then you're going to have a very hard time in marriage. So if you want your marriage to work, if you want to be successful in your marriage, don't be selfish. Ask yourself, what can I give? Marriage is about giving. A dear Ben, I may give you. Majority of the time we are thinking about the benefit we are going to get. So if you're going to marry and you have your benefit, right? If your benefit precede what you will give, then there's a problem. Then there's going to be a very big problem in the marriage. You have to think about, what value can I add to this woman I'm going to marry? What value can I add to this man I'm going to marry? will I be able to handle this man? Have I built that capacity, that emotional capacity, to be there for this man or to be there for this woman? A lot of people, marry because, they want to be pampered. They want someone that will be there for them. You see, no, don't let that thing be your topmost priority. If you want your marriage to work, put it at the back of your mind. I want to marry and be there for someone. So we are bad now. If I should say no, I've built capacity. I'm a spiritual woman. I am loaded. I have vision, and I can use what I have. I can use what I have to help a man to build a future. What is you are going to succeed in marriage, but now you marry for benefit. There is no way that marriage is going to work. And that's why a lot of marriages are not working, because we always have our benefit at the back of our minds. And you see, selfishness does not work in marriage. Into one say, oh sorry, I only did not be yaman na wuni trim. Oh sorry, I didn't hear be yaman na wuni trim. So it's like we are always thinking about ourselves instead of thinking about your partner. So what I want to tell you as a man of God and as a marriage counselor is that if you want your marriage to work, don't think about yourself. Think about your partner. It's like even love making. A lot of men, when they are going to make love, they are thinking about how they feel. And that's why they are not even able to satisfy their wives. They think about how they feel too much. If you think about how you feel too much, most of the men think about how they feel too much. So they don't care what the woman feels. So even if they are doing something and the woman